Hey, it's Mike again. Let's talk about a weird comparison I heard the other day. Comparing Black Lives Matter protesters to Trump supporters. And here's the thing, you know, right before the election, there was a lot of hostility going on. We had protests because of a shooting, black man in Pennsylvania, and the riots went pretty haywire. I understand the whole idea that when peaceful protests aren't listened to, riots are inevitable. I'm sorry to misquote Martin Luther King on that, but that's pretty much what he said. It's inevitable when you don't listen to the peaceful. But anyway, looting and all this going on, from Black Lives Matter protesters and probably instigators on the other side, honestly, because that has been found out that people on the far right have infiltrated the protest and done a lot of violence. But, I digress. My main point was, and then you had Trump supporters who were telling people they didn't have a choice on who they voted for president, that they had to vote Trump. Yelling and screaming and toting guns around polling places, threatening to be at polling places with their guns out, telling people that they can't vote anybody else but Trump. Trump is the only one that can, be president, being very violent, being very hostile, not violent. But, like I said in a previous video, election night, it came pretty close. Showing up at polling places with your guns ready to stop the vote, stop the illegal counting and all this. That's pretty much getting pretty close to violence right there. And here's the difference between, here's one of the differences between a Black Lives Matter protest and a Trump supporter protest. One is a social justice movement that leans more toward the left and more toward Democrats, but doesn't back a political candidate. They don't. Not that I have seen. There's a lot that feel like, the Democrats have left them behind as well. And they hold Biden accountable for the crime bill back in the 90s and different things of that nature. So they're not a political party. They're a social justice movement. On the other hand, a Trump supporter is someone that supports Trump, a political opponent, political appointee, and they are supporting the president. That's who they are. And the reason of this, somebody tried to argue with me that they're both the same, that that Black Lives Matters are Biden supporters, and they're all, look how, out of control they act. And it's like, I hadn't seen them toting around guns, threatening to kill people. So I would say there's a big difference. And like I've been thinking, when they pose these arguments, I just feel like, okay, you're showing property, meaning the looting and stuff, is more important than lives. Really. That's sad. Anyway, end of rant.